Hey guys, we're going to do a quick market wrap. I want to run through and show you how the markets are tracking at the moment, how I'm seeing it, and we'll start off with some charts. So I want to just dive straight into it, show you exactly what I'm seeing on the charts, some of the information and news, especially since the ETFs have been launched. So basically, I think the biggest thing for the market at the moment that we're all noticing is that Ethereum is taking the lead, and that normally indicates that potentially there's an alt season around the corner, which is super, super exciting, right? But I think this is the key area to be having a look at here, where we sort of had this long-term trend line that we've sort of not even gone down to in the last little dip, and then we just had this huge strength to break out and make that new yearly high, or new high really, since back in sort of July, even back as far as here, sort of April 22. So we're flying up, and Ethereum is leading that, and it's actually made a really nice break here, and really looks like it's targeting a much higher number here. So I think Ethereum looking strong is huge for the market, because if we just take a moment to have a quick look at the hourly on Bitcoin, you can see that it still hasn't broken out and made this big move like Ethereum has. So Ethereum is clearly leading the race here, or leading the path for the market at the moment, which typically shows strength in altcoins. So we've had the ETF approvals, that's been huge. Then we've got a BTC lacking a little bit there, or lagging to Ethereum, and it's taken off. Something I want to show you here, I'm going to bring up a weekly candle, because this is something that's pretty important, and I think it shows the market and what happened on that, what people would be potentially calling the sell the news event. So back here, we effectively had a candle, which was the weekly candle when we got the news of the ETFs. And everyone's like, it's a sell the news event. But the thing to look at on this candle here is it's got a really large wick. So what it indicates is a lot of people went short through this week. So this is a long period of time, and people have gone short in that period. So what happens when you come up and you burst through like this, and here we're looking at weekly candles, you've got a lot of trapped shorts, okay? So not only have we got the inflow of the ETFs, and effectively so much going on in the market at the moment, we've got the halving coming up for Bitcoin, that's rolling through in April, so we're getting really, really close, and then we've trapped a lot of shorts here, right? So they've got to either unwind their position, or they get liquidated, right? So we're really pushing here, and this, as you can see, we've got a really strong weekly close that just closed this morning, and then we're targeting again to see what this weekly close looks like. But I think the key to see here is that Ethereum is sort of leading. I want to move on to the inflows to the ETFs, right? So this here is one of the best graphs I've seen that shows exactly how these basically holdings are going into the ETF. And you can just see, basically since inception, it's been up only, right? And what they're doing is they're taking supply out of the market. So these ETFs are gobbling up all this Bitcoin, and they're actually taking in, like, I think it's about like almost 10 times per day the amount mined into these, right? Depending on the day. So it's up to that sometimes. Are going into these ETFs. So the Bitcoin, there's just not enough being mined out there. Obviously there's some supply sitting on the sidelines, but a lot of these addresses have not moved within like a year or so. I think it's about 70% of all addresses have not moved their Bitcoin within a year. So that's showing strength in the market, and you're seeing it getting caught up. Anything that Grayscale has been losing has just been getting eaten up by these other ETFs. So you can see Grayscale, yes, had a bit of an outflow, especially at the start. They've slowed down, and everything's getting taken by the rest of these ETFs. So that's huge, right? We're starting to see these huge inflows into the ETFs, and they're Bitcoin that's just going to go in there and get locked forever, sort of thing. So pretty heavy push on that supply and demand aspect of the market. Pop on here, and I think this is huge, right? We're basically seeing the outflows of gold and the inflows of Bitcoin in this chart here. And you can see that Bitcoin is taking a huge part of the market, actually more than the outflow of gold. But you can see that gold has been outflowing hugely through this period to the effect of $2 billion, right? So we've seen that money come out and then go into the Bitcoin ETFs. And this was really early. So it's going to be interesting to see how we see this sort of continue to trend, how much gold is leaving the ETFs and how much is then coming back into the Bitcoin ETF. So this chart is going to be very, very important to watch over the next sort of few months. Pop onto here, and as I was saying the other day, I was saying it only 3 days ago, that it looked like Ethereum was sort of taking charge over Bitcoin here. But what I also posted was this altcoin sort of chart that shows all of the altcoins in the market minus Ethereum. So it's sort of removing Bitcoin and Ethereum and then showing the market cap of just those altcoins without Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as you can see from the last cycle, we get this really big run up, right? And we had that accumulation phase, and we've pretty much got that again here, right? So it is quite likely that we repeat again and we get this huge bust up here. So Ethereum's starting to lead the race. You're starting to see the altcoin market take charge here. So now you're really starting to say, hey, where are these opportunities? And this is where the big opportunities come, right? Because the altcoins always go harder than Bitcoin or Ethereum at the end of the day. So there's basically some really good opportunities to look for there. Keep an eye on that and see where you can see some opportunities to basically place some positions and get a piece of this alt run, which, look, I think a lot of us can see this coming. So the other thing too, I want to just quickly report on Fantom, because it's pretty big at the moment. There's a lot of things going on with Fantom, but this is today, right? So we've got the lawsuit between Multichain, which was a big issue that occurred back mid last year. And now they're getting taken to court. So there's a lot of assets that could be freed up coming back to Fantom from those multi-chain assets when there was a huge debacle that we won't go into. But this is huge for Fantom, right? So at the moment, they're up against multi-chain. It's on today. Let's see what happens here. Let's see exactly how that moves, because that's going to set in my opinion, that's going to set the ground for what's going to happen next. And then you've also got Fantom coming out, and they're tweeting here that in spring 2024, that's sort of what they're indicating for Sonic, right? So Sonic's huge. Did a video on that not long ago. Did it with the CRO there from Fantom. So we're really starting to get excited about Sonic, and it's just around the corner. Like, spring's not far, right? So it's either that or it's 2049 or 2067. So we know it's coming very, very soon. Huge network improvements. So much going on in the market. It's a huge altcoin. And one of the things I want to show you while we're making this video, have a look at that. Like, this is the daily that I had it on, but on the hourly, we're just breaking out here on these at the moment. Like, they're just taking off. Bitcoin was doing the same, right? That's the weekly, but have a look at it on the 15-minute, and it started to really, like, you can see that's two 15-minute candles. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are really taking charge in the market. There's so much sort of pressure or buying pressure behind these that they're popping off like that even while I'm just making a video.